So yesterday I had a brief chat with the OneSolution team, and we spoke a little bit about global change and about how an understanding of the mind, of state of mind, is kind of a crucial piece of the puzzle of creating a better world. And I wanted to share a few things that occurred to me as we were talking about that. So I get this question a lot, which is, in a way, the scale, the model that I work with is completely unscalable. It's individuals, whether that is in the context of a team or an organization. I work with individuals, and each person that I work with has to see something differently for themselves. And then they can create change for their teams, their organizations, their communities, right? So it isn't scalable in the sense that I write a memo, they read the memo, they memorize the memo, and then they're different. I wish it was that way, but it's not quite. Every single person has to have an insight or realization for themselves. And when they have that, then they almost don't have a choice in that. When they see something differently, they will be different in the world. They will behave differently. They will think differently. The solutions they will create will be different, right? So in the context of change, there is this kind of myth that there is a way to change things at a mass scale without affecting the individuals or without caring about the individuals in the system. As though such a thing like a system exists independent of the people who create it, right? Each of us in our family, each of us in my team, each of us in my company, we each co-create the system that we live and work in. And there is no way to change that system without changing this. There's no way to do that. We're not mechanistic beings, we are thinking beings. We make choices based on the way we think, based on how we think about things, how we see things. That's the basis on which we make choices about ourselves, about our world. And so there is really no way to create sustainable long-term change without affecting this and this. There is no way to do that. So that's one part that I just wanted to kind of highlight, this myth that we have. It's like, oh, just change the culture in my organization, right? Without caring for the people, the individual people in your organization, there's no way to change the culture there. Each person must have an opportunity to see something differently, to see, first of all, themselves differently, to understand themselves better. And by extension, then, they will understand other people better. They will understand the organization better. They will understand the needs of the organization and be able to act in service of that better, right? So this piece of individuals seeing something for themselves, and for us as change agents, having the patience to be with people, to help them see something differently for themselves, that's a crucial piece of this organizational change puzzle, right? And it's also a piece of the global change puzzle, that we must begin with individual human beings starting to get a better understanding for themselves. Then they will have a better understanding of each other, of people who are different from them, of people who have different viewpoints than them, of people who do things that they think are unacceptable. We find new ways to reconcile and move forward only when we can understand the situation differently than we did in the past. As long as I think the same way as I did before, I will act the same way, right? So the mind and an understanding of how the mind works is at the heart of change. It's at the heart of creating change at any scale, whether that's in my own life, within my family, within my team, my organization, my community, or my world. An understanding of us as people and what we have common as human beings has to be the starting point of any long-term sustainable change.